Hey, guys. I hope you all are well. Today we will discuss about one of the most asked question from Death Note anime series. The question is, who is smarter, Light Yagami or L? As we all know that Death Note is an anime where characters fight with their ick or talent. In this anime, there are many talented, good, bad, popular, unpopular characters. Among them, Light Yagami, the main character, and L got the most popularity from audiences. In this two characters, L's fans are much bigger than Light Yagami because of L's smartness, gentleness, thinking ability, cute behavior. Other side, Light Yagami's haters are much bigger than L because of Light Yagami's over-smartness, rude behavious, thinking ability, heartless, and the killer of L. But a funny thing happens when we search on Google the most loved characters in all animes. Surprisingly, Light Yagami's name reveals in the first. Whatever, we are not going to discuss this. Our question is L smarter than Light Yagami? Now I am going to answer this with meticulous logics. Today, I will give you such logics, which are said by only 1% YouTubers and audiences. 99% public and YouTubers do same mistake giving logics. Before answering this question, I would like to say you to forfeit being fan and hater of L and Light Yagami both from your mind for just now. Basically, I am L's lover. But to be honest, I am going to answer this popular question with meticulous logics. Let it be started. L and Light both are so smart character, even they are the smartest characters in the anime world. But there are some facts between them from which we can figure out who is smarter. Let's come to the first point. Light Yagami is a normal college student with an extraordinary brain. Outside, L is the world's greatest detective who has already solved all difficult cases with solid proofs he'd ever been assigned to. In fact, he tactfully narrowed down the search for to Japan and correctly suspected Light Yagami within a remarkably short time frame. It is clear that L has a lot of experiences about solving cases with extreme level deductive skills. It is more clear that L is far away ahead than Light Yagami from the very beginning. So, L easily trapped the crew and got out two useful hints. Now, Light had no experience about the future condition. One day, he got a supernatural power, named Death Note. Now the fact is 80% idiot or nonsense, whatever you say. They think that Light had superpower. For this, he is not as smart as L. People who watch the series tend to overestimate the idea that L is smarter than Light solely based on the premise that Light had an advantage with his Shinigami powers. That, however, does not factor into the equation, or the ultimate outcome. Just as Light had Shinigami powers, he had restrictions on him. He needed a name and a face of the individual in order to kill somebody. Furthermore, since he wanted to live longer, he played the game of Shinigami in difficult mode, without being able to access one's names and faces directly. L, on the other hand, had power over all the police in Japan, FBI and such. In terms of research, investigation, espionage cameras and bugging devices and etc. He had quasi-omnipotent power to prove that Light was corrupt. Therefore, if we consider things from this perspective, we will realize that L was not so powerless in comparison to Light, as even though Light had the powers of the Shinigami, he had restrictions on him which incapacitated him from killing L directly. Now let's come to the second point. As we know, L is the world's greatest detective with extraordinary brain. He suspected the crow Light Yagami in short time. This is really amazing, but he could not find out 100% proofs of being Light is Kra. From the very beginning, L has started to check Light Yagami directly and indirectly. I am giving an example to you. Most of you have played chess game. In this chess game, suppose you have been trapped by the opponent badly as this picture. Then what will you do? In this situation you have only 1% of draw. And winning is out of question. But from L's smartest traps, Light amazingly escaped without leaving any proofs behind. Let's come to the third point. Can you remember the scene where L trapped Light Yagami by showing ad with CC cameras? Here, can you remember after getting Light's reaction, L said that your son's psyche has reached the god level. Let's move for fourth point. Although Light knew about the second Kra as well, L's deductive abilities were quite impressive in figuring out the existence of another Kra. Light knew someone else had another notebook. He didn't need to use his intelligence to figure that out. Thus, L gets more credit for this discovery. His reasoning was flawless, and it took him no time to figure out the existence of two notebooks as soon as he saw one after apprehending Higuchi. L's that trick was really outstanding. Fifth point is Light Yagami was popular with women, and he certainly took advantage of this fact. The two most notable women he manipulated to do his dirty work for him were Misa Amane and Kiyomi Takada. He heartlessly convinced them both they were important to him, and then used them to continue ruling the world from the shadows. In fact, once he deemed that Takada was no longer useful after she was caught, he used the death note to kill her. Now the fact is it easy to manipulate someone? If this would been easier, then there were no boys without 5 to 10 girlfriends. We can now believe that Light is again proving his smartness in this fact. Sixth point is secretly controlling the world and evading both the Japanese police force and the best detective in the world isn't an easy task. Light Yagami devised incredible strategies which enabled him to proceed with his plans. Arguably one of his greatest strategies was to relinquish ownership of the Death Note and lose his memories of it. To do this, Light asked Rem to find a greedy and selfish individual to take ownership of the Death Note during his hiatus, and once Rem gave the book to Kyosuke Higuchi, things went exactly as planned. After Higuchi was caught, Light touched the Death Note, retrieved all his memories, and successfully threw off L's suspicions. Light got one more point. Seventh point is confused L by changing the Death Note's rules. After getting confined by L to prove he wasn't Kra and helping capture Higuchi, the task force discovers the existence of the Death Note. However, Light had made some changes of his own to the rules of the notebook. Light had added 2 fake rules, which would not only divert suspicion from himself, but also prevent the task force from destroying the notebook. Using the 13-day rule, in particular, had allowed him to clear his name. Though Light was not success because once L starts suspect anyone he never back down. L has 2 rules in his life. One is he never wrong. Number 2 is if he is wrong, then he back to his first rule. In this case L wins not removing Light from his suspicion, but also Light wins because he was succeed to confuse L. Now come for the last point. L paved the way for Nier and Mello to capture Kra. After L's successors, Nier and Mello, work together, with Mello having to sacrifice his life, L's vision is finally realized. Kra has been defeated and all the notebooks are safe and under the possession of the authorities. Without L's resources, information and successors, Kra may have never been captured, so, even though it was Nier who figured out how to beat Light, he couldn't have done so without L means deleting all informations regarding Kra cases and making Light Yagami L. He has given an unforgettable trap for Light Yagami, before L's death. Means though, L died, but his smartness was going through Nier and Mello. For this, the age of 23 Light Yagami was started to be confused. But he was also playing well with Nier. and at the last, when Light and Near were face to face, then Teru Mikami, who praises Light Yagami highly, he did one mistake. And for this Light Yagami was defeated. Now see, Light with along his notebooks and 3 persons fought against almost high level person. From them L was the king of them. And Light Yagami also escaped from L's traps and attacked them individually. Through the end, did you notice that everything was going according Light's plan except Teru Mikami's mistake? Means, Light was always ahead from them. So now it is very clear that who is smarter. L and Light Yagami both are smartest characters all time. But comparing them, Light is smarter than L. I hope you liked all of the logics, and can realize who was smartest. If you still can't endure this, then I suggest you kindly leave the anime world and go back to Tom and Jerry's world. I am L's fan and don't like Light Yagami for killing those innocent persons just for winning this game. Other way, L never lied, he never hurt anyone, he was always soft and cute, but to be compared of their smartness, Light Yagami is definitely smarter than L. Here is your wanted video. If you liked the video, then don't forget to break the like button and subscribe this channel. See you in the next video.